Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Emily. I'm Crafty Emily here on YouTube, and this is a channel about cross stitch and me and my family and all of that nonsense. Hello to any new subscribers. I'm still creeping up. I creep a couple every few days here, so that's kind of nice. You're very welcome here. If you like the sort of things I stitch long dog samplers mostly, and I stitch Hades, and I generally go for big, bright, as colourful as I can get, and I mix up my colours quite a lot. So it's been 8 days. It's Tuesday morning here in the UK. It's the last day of August and it's almost 10 AM in the morning, and I'm sort of a day off today. I'm working 4 till finish today, just as a little extra half day, just to bump up my hours, which my manager is more than happy to do for me and let me take odd little bits of shifts that, you know, are a bit difficult for her to staff. So I'm quite happy to take little odds and bods here and there just to get a few more hours in. I've done quite a lot of hours this week in my only job, and I am adjusting because it's kind of hard to adjust again to doing a little bit every single day. I'm now doing longer shifts and getting a couple of days off. So this week I had Tuesday, Wednesday off, but obviously I'm going in for a few hours this afternoon, 4 until it's going to be about 9. So I get about 5 hours in today, which is fine. You know, it's money at the end of the day, which is what we need to keep going. So my stitching took a bit of a hit. I had 2 fantastic days where I had days off and I literally cranked out 2,000 stitches each day, and still got bits and bobs done. I took Lizzie to the dentist in Hexham, I did this, I did that, you know, I did the food shop, I did a lot of running around, and I still got 2,000 stitches in each day. And then since then I've had a bit of a nosedive and not done as many stitches. We had a busy weekend, and yesterday was Bank Holiday Monday, and I did the early, so I went in at 8:30. I did 8:30 till 5:30, and I was I'd had Lizzie at my mum and dad's for 3 nights, so we just sat all evening and kind of sat together, and I didn't do a lot of stitching last night, which is absolutely fine. Sometimes I need that too. So I've got little bits of progress to show you, and a restart, and I'll pause it anyway and run upstairs because I've realised I've left my original upstairs. So I'm going to show you my basic progress, which is over here, because this is now living in the living room, because this is the thing I stitch on quickly in the morning when I get a chance. My threads are still disorganised in a plastic bag with a lunchbox insert in it. That's how I roll. That's it. Still over there. Anyway, this is my Hade. It's a Randall Spangler, and it's called Snow Wizard. And if you've seen any of my others, you've seen this over and over and over again. And I am now here. So here's my second dragon, and I'm just filling in. There's a big curly thing here that I have to put in, and I'm filling in the background behind it. So my second dragon is here, and full. I get him unrolled. It's getting big. There he is from top to bottom, so you can see my 2 dragons. There's the first dragon, there's the second dragon, and then the background gets lighter and we go into the castle. There's a little castle, and then I think there's a little castle. Might be getting my pictures muddled up, and there's the wizard at the bottom with a little dragon at his feet, which I know he's going to be quite pixelated because it's quite a small piece. This here is 14 count Ada. You can see it's a scrap. It's a long skinny scrap, 11-inch Q-snap, and I've just put a longer piece on there so I can roll it as I go, and it works really well for me. I just keep on tightening it up. Every time I stitch on it, I just tighten it up a little bit. It slacks off while I'm not using it, so it keeps it nice. And I'm gridding as I go with a water erasable pen, which does erase because I spilt a big blob of coffee on it, which you can see very, very clearly here, and it erased all my marks. So I'm just beginning to stitch into my coffee stain. This, one, will get finished quite reasonably quickly, I hope, and two, will get, of course, properly washed, so I'm not at all worried that there's a big splash of coffee on it. It doesn't matter. It will get washed out, or the stitches will cover it and it won't show. Okay, so Snow Wizard, I am currently at 32%, so I'm very, very, hopefully by next video I will be at 1/3 complete. And I am working, so you can see it's a narrow band but very long, and because it's on 14 count Ada, it's quite large, because it should be quite, on 25 count it would only be about yon wide. I mean, it would literally be this wide on 25 count, but because I'm on 14 count, one, it's easy peasy to stitch on, and two, it's bigger. And I will be starting Snow Castle, the proper full size, full job, which I've got 18 count for. I've got the fabric, I've got the pattern, the colours are mostly the same, but I'm not starting it yet because I've got so much else on at the moment, and I'm really hankering for a new start, but I want to do something smaller. And I'm seeing so many people starting fall patterns, obviously we call it autumn, and a few Christmassy things, and I'm hankering, you know, I'm wanting to start something, so I'm undecided yet. Now, if I can find a picture of where this was before, I'll put it in here, but I might not find one. I've not been so on it this week. So my Snow Wizard, I have put in 1451 stitches, and this is basically 200 or 300 stitches. For the last 3 mornings I've put in 100. 125, 114, 104. I'm keeping count because I'm doing the 100k in 100 days. So in the last 8 days I've done 8,179. So I'm on track, but I am a bit behind because I did have 2 days where I did 4,000 stitches. So I'm a bit behind myself at the moment on the actually getting 1,000 in a day, because I did 2 days of big catch up. Today I'll have a big catch up day. Tomorrow I might get loads in because I'm off tomorrow, and if I do something on, say, a 14 count tomorrow, I could easily get 2,500 stitches and really get myself ahead on something like this. But I'd like to get this to 1/3 done by next week, so another whole percentage point by next week. So there's where I am on my Snow Wizard. I have just got one stitch on the end of his nose, on the very end of his nose, and then all of this bit is done, and I think this is basically one colour that I just haven't got round to because I'm working, where's my needle? My needle's here. I'm working on this background colour, and if you can see, I've just tucked my needle in. My needle's just there where I've left it, because I've obviously looked up and gone, oh, is that the time I need to go? And I've just put my needle in and I've put it down and gone to work. Okay, so that's my Snow Wizard, so I've been working on that, and I will keep on plugging away at that. And the only other Haid I worked on this week was my key, the key, which is another big Haid, and it's also on 14 count, and it's Kirsten Mills' artwork, and I adore her artwork. Again, we're dragons, his little face is just poked in here, and I said last time I'd like to fill in a leaf completely. So because I filled in a lot of this bit here, you can see, is pretty covered, and the moth, which is just down there, I did the moth. Still some fair gaps here and here, and you know, I need to do a lot of filling in, but I'm on this leaf here, and I thought I'm going to finish this leaf. I've got a few colours there, still got a few colours to put in there. Not having my DMCs organised because they fell open, and having a lot of randoms in boxes everywhere is beginning to really mince with me, so I'm going to have to spend some time putting all my DMCs in order, because looking for odd random numbers is driving me batty. Most of this bit down here, which is the point of the leaf, is all one colour, and I know I have it. I actually have every single colour for the key. I bought every single colour for it over about 3 orders. And I can't find it, and I haven't used it up. I very rarely use up a full skein unless I'm doing a monochrome. So you can see there's parts of this that I've done a lot of stitching on, and there's parts where I've got an awful lot to go. like one brick down there's got a lot of work in it, the end of his tail, all of this shank of the key. I've still got all of this to go. That's all going to be these lovely brown tones here. That's the top of the key there. Still not filled in completely. And then at the top is all this ivy. I know I did go back up to the corner and start filling in the corner, but I didn't. I chop and change, I stitch where I want on this. Just wherever I fancy stitching on it, I'll just put the Q-snap on it, tighten it up, and this is my 14 count. And this is how I store my Hades guides. I don't have any grime guards. I can make grime guards, I can see my sewing machine. You know I make project bags now and then, but I don't make grime guards. I just simply put my Q-snap where I want it, and it just flops around me because I stitch on my knee, two-handed like this, one hand top, one hand bottom, on my knee, and I just make sure all my fabric's scrunched out of the way, and you know what? It just unflops. Nothing bad happens to it. And then when I'm done, I just fold it round it and plop it back down. That's how I do it. And nothing bad has happened yet. Not yet. Okay, so I have three. I was like, I'm sure I've worked on more than that. I'll show you my modern folk embroidery that I've only picked up this morning. So I didn't do any work on it last week, but I did pick it up this morning because my eyes are good in the mornings, and this is 40 count, and it's beautifully fine. Such fine, beautiful 40 count that that's its colour, that it takes some doing to stitch on. So tired eyes don't work, so good eyes work well for this. And you can see how beautiful this piece of fabric is. So for this one, because it's quite a fine fabric, I've got one piece of Flora's pyjamas holding it tight there. The stitches help hold it tight there, and where it's the other clamps, I'm just using a double layer of its own fabric to help hold it really tight. And this is the Q-snap I'm using for all three of the other pieces. So when I'm finished stitching on this, I'll take the Q-snap back off, I'll fold it up, and then I'll put the Q-snap on the next piece. So I'm not leaving it like this all scrumpled and done, although it does just iron out. But this is where I am. So this morning I've just put in a little bit of the mauve stitching here and a little bit of the purple stitching here. I got a little parcel. I chop and change, I don't do sections. I got a little parcel in the post from a lovely, lovely lady called Nikki, who's watched all of my videos. And she sent me some stamps to make needle minders with. Nikki, I'll make the two that you sent me that you'd like back. Please send me your address because you didn't put it on your note, so that when I do make them, oh, Postie's putting post through, that when I do make them, I'll be able to send them back to you. And she also sent me a couple of skeins of the DMCs that I'm using for this, and she sent me the green that I was needing for my key. So thank you so much. It was such a surprise because she said she'd sending me some stamps, and they're lovely. They're definitely Isle of Man. So that was really nice because we don't get a lot of, I know it's really close by, but we don't get a lot of Isle of Man stamps. So it's really nice to have something different. And there we go. So she sent me some new DMCs, so that's lovely. So I can get on with this now because I'm a bit rubbish at collating things. So that's my modern folk embroidery. I'm still in February, but as I say, I'm probably going to put in quite a bit of stitching into this today, but I hadn't up until today, not at all last week. And the other thing I worked on last week, and I've put in quite a lot of stitches in, let me find where, 2,719 stitches has gone into my pointed fifth, and I have filled in a great deal of the gap. If I've got a picture, I'll put it here of where I was, but if not, I'm going to show you where I've got to. And it's still just, well, it doesn't quite fold into the quarter, but I am now here. So, let me turn my page back. The pointed fifth is at 19.68%, so I'm very nearly 1/5 done. So what did I do? I filled in him, I filled in all of this bit, because this bit wasn't filled in. I think I did these two little doggies, I hadn't done them. I hadn't filled in the hair last time. And so I've done this bit here. And it's rather lovely. So we've gone from the pink down through, and then there is a little bit off the bottom there, but not much off the bottom there. So a lot of that bit there is going to be the navy blue, because those are quite big window things. So I've still got half to go that way, half to go down, and that big piece there needs completely filling in. But I've made really, really good progress on my pointed fifth, which is on a 28 count. No, it's 32 count, but I'm doing it over 2, so it's the same as 16 count. So again, it's very easy stitching, and because it's this beautiful even weave, Lugana, oh goodness, I'm going to struggle forever with that, guys. I'm just going to say Laguna, because it is very neat even weave. It's very, very easy to stitch on. You can so easily find your place, and when I can see what I'm doing and I can rattle on, I can get lots of stitches in. So I've done quite a bit of that. So this is the current state of my étoile, which doesn't pull out as neatly. It's fluffier and it doesn't pull out as neatly as a normal DMC. So I've not even wound it onto a bobbin or anything. I'm just yanking out a chunk of it. You can see it's kind of floof. It's lovely to stitch with. Once you get 2 or 3 stitches in, they're very loopy because I tie a knot. So when you've tied my knot and I start stitching, I find the first couple of stitches very loopy and need a bit of manipulation, and then after that they just lie beautifully and you can just go. So I've got quite a lot of the navy blue to put in this bottom section, which is what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to try and get this bit filled, and this bit filled, and maybe this bit filled, and maybe fill down here for next week. We'll see how I get along, because I'm really happy with where I've got to with this bit. I did try to film a stitch with me and it was a disaster. 1, I hadn't anything to think of to say. 2, Jock was barking and barking and barking. I let him out, I let him in, I fed him, and he was just barking and barking and barking. And I was like, I just can't do it anymore. So I stopped the recording, and it'll go in the bin. It was rubbish. It was just no good at all. I don't even think the lighting was very good, so I can't even really take the volume off and do a voiceover on it. I will watch it through for my own amusement, and if it's absolutely terrible, I'll delete it. If the stitching is good and it's in shot and you can see clearly what I'm doing, I might voice over it, but I need something to say, and when I'm showing you my stitching, you get into a bit of a flow and you can start talking and it's fine. But when you're just starting from scratch and you just need to explain what you're stitching, once you said, this is how I stitch, I go up down this hole and I'm coming up here, and this is the colour I'm using and this is the pattern I'm following, and you think, oh god, I need to say something, I need to make conversation. And I pulled up a lot of those know your needlework things, and I'm thinking most people know this stuff about me, so could you give me a wee comment on this video and let me know either what you'd like me to talk about in a stitch with me, or shall I do a know your needlework tag, or one of those lists of questions of get to know you things? Would that be of any interest to you? Do you want to know anything specific? You know, I'll talk about blooming anything. I'm not precious, I'm not secretive. I've shown photographs of the outside of my house. You all know where I'm not one of those who keeps my private. I'm not. I'm just me. What you see is what you get. I don't tell lies. It's here. So anyway, leave me a wee comment about anything specific. Give me some pointers, give me some clues, some questions to answer, something, so that I can do a stitch with me and not sound like a complete fool, please, and then I'll do your stitch with me. I wanted to, and now I have some daylight, light time to do it, Lighting's still a bit grim in here today. It's a very grey, overcast day here in the UK, and there is so much greenery on everything. The lights in here is very poor. And I still have 2 people asleep in my bed, so I couldn't exactly go into the much, much lighter room upstairs to do it. So yeah, I'll get onto that if you give me some clues. And then I had a hankering, and you'll see why in a minute, but these colours screamed at me, and I went and got this out of my to be put away for a while box. This is a circular full coverage piece that I got on Etsy. The Etsy shop is called 2x2 cross stitch, like a 2x2 cross stitch. And her patterns, they're usually on some sort of sale, and they're literally a couple of pounds, so like $3 or $4, or you know, we sometimes can get them for sometimes £2 or £3. And they're lovely patterns. They do go into Pattern Keeper no problem at all. I don't even know if you have to input the thread numbers. I think it might just go straight in. And I really, really want to get on with this, and I will show you why in a minute. But right now, I am going to stop the video just for a second. So this is a plans for next week kind of thing. I'm thinking I might put some stitches into this. I am going to stop the video for a second and go and get my old start for my new start restart. I'll be right back. Ooh, if I can turn it off. Right, been for a little rummage, and I've done the right thing. I needed to look at it to know that I'd done the right thing. So here is the new normal long dog sampler, and that's where I got to, and that's 30% done. And my big problem with this is there is a huge swathe of stitching there, and I defy you to see it. I can't see it, and I'm looking at it in real time, real life. I mean, I can see it, but it doesn't show up. And I was just, I mean, I'm super happy with this corner. This corner was amazing. Took so much work. That circle was such a beast to stitch. These cats and this swan, the cat's bugging the swan, is just such, it was such hard work. But I was so out of love with this. So out of love with it. I've said before, when I did my mid-year whip parade, I said, I'm so out of love with it. I have to think about it. And then a lady put her finish up on the long dog. It might be the new normal long dog, and it might be. I haven't asked her if I can put the picture up, so I won't. But if you're in the long dog sampler group, you'll have either seen it or you can go on and see it. If you're in the new normal group, you will have seen it, because it is beautiful. And she used mostly variations, but she did it right. She totally did it right. It is glorious. That's what I wish mine looked like, and mine looks like that, and I'm not happy with it. So somebody else finished theirs, and it was playing on my mind, and hers were all teals and pinks. And I think actually I chatted to this lady right back at the beginning when we started the new normal, and her finish is amazing. Again, it's on the Long Dog Sampler Facebook page and the new normal Facebook page. And I had this piece of fabric, that's another piece of my birthday fabric, and this is Bestitch Me Aegean, and it's a 40 count linen, same fabric as my Modern Folk embroideries on, except that's called Punch. This one's called Aegean, and I've got some chocolate on it. That's a little bit of Cadbury chocolate. It'll be in the margin, it's fine. Anyway, because this won't be getting washed. It's right on the edge. Anyway, so when I had the 2 days off, I restarted it, and I am at 9.7% already, because I had these 2 days where I could just stitch. And yeah, See these colours? See those colours? You can see why I want to get on with this, because this is the same. Anyway, I'm just going to show you. Here's where I am. So I basically re-uploaded the PDF back into Pattern Keeper, and this is where I am. So I actually started in the middle here, and this is the cat bubble. There's my little dragon. My little dragon is now 917, 915. Let me get my colour. One of my favourite pinks, 718. There we go. There, that colour. It's amazing. 718 is. So that's the colour my little dragon is. So I'm using pinks, and then the background is teals and blue. And what I'm doing, don't even know if this is going to show up, but it's for me, and I can see it. I'm using basically the DMC that matches the fabric. So this bit here is stitched. Yeah, you can just about see it. It's stitched, the background, but it matches the fabric. So when I'm looking at it, I can see the texture, but from over there you can't see it, but I can see the stitches are there. Yeah, you can just about see them there. So what I've done is I've collected up colours from all over the place. What I've got is a selection of pinks, and we've got 718, good old 602, one of my favourites. I've got, oh, that's an extra 602. I've got lots of 602. I've got one here, doesn't have a number on it, and I don't know why. I've got another pink there. That's probably because it's an anchor, a really old vintage anchor. So I've put it on a bobbin, but I haven't put the number on it because there's no point, because when it runs out, it's gone. And then I've got another DMC here, 957, which is like the next shade paler. And then I've got 818 for a very pale. So I've got 5 pinks. And then I've got DMC 4180, which is a variegated, variegated pink. I've got an anchor variations, which is the only purple. It goes through purple, pink and into a blue, which I might use. I don't know if I'm going to use it for a bubble or I'm going to use it for a background. I'm just going to see where it's going to fit. That's just going to be a bit of contrast. Then I've got an anchor variations, which is a much brighter version of the DMC one. So it's got a much pinker pink in it. And then this is the Karen Water Lily Flamingo that I bought randomly just to make my postage and packing when I got, oh, it's silk. And this is silk. And these are cotton. And it's fine. And I mix and match. So there we go. That's my pinks, and that's Flamingo. And then I've got a Be Stitch Me Silk, which again came with the fabric, and this one's called the Bearing Sea. So it's tonal. It's tonal, and it was meant to be used on this fabric, I'm quite sure. And this does show up, and it's that colour, and it's perfect, and it tones perfectly with the fabric. And I'm using that for most of the background. So this here is all the Bearing Sea Be Stitch Me Silk, and it's the same thickness. This is the Flamingo, the Karen Water Lily Flamingo. This is the DMC variations, and this is 602. And then this little elephant here is a blue. which has no number on it, which means it's an anchor, but it's just a royal blue with a slightly muted tone in it. It's not the brightest royal blue you'll ever come across, but it's a slightly muted blue. There we go, that's that one. And then I have some Down Under Blues Dinky Dye, but this is quite a bright, this is the brightest of the hanks that I had, but it goes through a midnight blue into a dark royal blue. And I'm not 100% sure I'm going to use this, but I might use this here and there. And then I've got the background colours. Now my background colours, as I say, are the same colour. Some of them are, that's the one that is absolutely, this fabric is 807. The majority, there look, that's 807. That's the one I'm using for texture, but the stitches don't show because they are exactly the same colour. This one, slightly different. That one there is 597. And then I've also got a lighter one, 3811. So those three there, they tone together. And that's the palette I have so far. So that's what I'm using. And I found a little needle minder who is a little snake. And he is one of my little snakes. Can you see him? It's a little python, and he sits there. Something happened to him and he had a chip out of his background because they're usually circular. So I've trimmed him down and I'm using him because he was a little bit damaged and he's mine. Oh, I have a little python keeping me company on this. Doesn't match the fabric, doesn't go with anything, but he's one of my little pythons there. My little needle minder. And I'm just keeping them in a box with some of the DMCs that just need to go back in the big box. They were spillovers, extras, where I've got two hanks, you know, I've got two of them. So I found this, there were some spaces in it. I'm keeping hold of my colour bands. Oh, there we go. So I've kept hold of the anchors, but I don't know which ones they are. I've got anchor, there's my old, look how old that, as opposed to a new anchors like that. This is the old one. So I've got number 52, probably the same age as me, anchor stranded. Still works. I still work, it still works. We all work. I've got 143, I've got 1207 and 1325. I think those are the two variegateds. They're much newer ball band things. And there's my Bestitch Me one. I've kept hold of them all so that if I run out, then I know what I need. But so that's what I'm doing. I'm restitching the new normal in colours that hopefully will hold my interest and keep me happy, and won't end up looking like a horrible bag of bones that I'm not happy with. So that's where I am with that. So I did go into Hobbycraft, but Hobbycraft send you, if you're in the Hobbycraft club, which if you're in the UK and you use Hobbycraft like I do, for every £50 you spend in store, they give you £2.50 coupon. So you basically get 5% back. Now, before I was spending, when I've got all my kids all crafting, I might spend £200, £300 a month in Hobbycraft buying bits for everybody. So it adds up to a little bit back each time. But on your birthday, they send you a £5 coupon and you get your birthday, they give you a birthday present. So I bought myself my extra, the ones that I haven't, you know, and a couple of extra DMCs. I bought myself some DMCs for my birthday. Thank you, Hobbycraft, for my present. So there we go. I'm going to truck on with this. Now I think my Prancy Pony, the Prancy Pony who's here, I was a bit worried that he wasn't going to show up terribly well, because I've done him quite pale. This one's going to pop like crazy. This is the swan and the kittens. This bubble here is going to be a bit of a nightmare. And I was a bit worried my Prancy Pony wasn't going to show up, but you can see him, you can see his leg, and he has detail on him. And if I can't see the detail on him so well, what I will do is I will go in and stitch the pony completely in one of the darker colours so that he pops better, so that you can see him. But I think we might be able to see him once he's got his pattern on him and his eyeballs and things. I've got to finish the bubble to tell for sure. But I will finish the bubble and then I'll know for sure. I just said the same thing in two slightly different ways. There we go, guys. So, as we're currently sitting, that's where I am. All my work's all the same colour. All the ones that I've picked the colours for, they're all the same. So, I mean, eventually, I can have them hanging all in a big long line, and they'll all tone in together, won't they? Because I'm a one-trick pony and I like my stitching all the same kind of colours. So, Sparky Notebook still going on. Still trucking on with my 1000th day. Except I'm not, because since I last filmed, I got that was the Sunday there. Monday was good. Tuesday I was down. Wednesday and Thursday I was off, so I got tons of stitching then. And then when I turned the page, no stickers. No stickers. 256 stitches only on Saturday. That's all the stitching I did on Saturday. I was tired. And then I got 900 on Sunday, and I was too tired to do 100 more stitches. I thought I could keep going, do 100 more stitches, and I thought, you know what, I can't, I'm too tired. And then yesterday, as I say, I didn't do very many yesterday because I'd had Lizzie away a few days, and I only got 364 stitches in yesterday. So yeah, some days, guys, I don't get a lot of stitches in. I don't do thousands every day. When I say I get a lot of stitches in, oh, my poor new normal. I need to think about what I'm going to do with the bit that I have done. Because my Leo, I love him. He's wonderful. And this corner's great. But I had to go. I just wasn't loving it. And if you're going to put that many stitches in, if you're going to do that many stitches in something, you've got to love it. You've got to love what you're doing. This is my whole cross stitch thing. You've got to love it. If you're going to do a head, don't struggle. Don't struggle doing 25 count. Don't do half stitches if you can't count them like I can't. I can't count half stitches. I can't find where I'm meant to be. For me, I need a cross with the 4 holes used, so that I know that that following hole is where if I try and do half stitches, I end up here. I end up not, my lines aren't straight because my brain can't do it, and you think it could, but it can't. So I can't do half stitches, and I own it, and I say right now I'm a full cross person. I'm a full cross every time. I stitch 1 cross at a time because that's how I'm comfortable. I don't do a whole line of stitching and then go all the way back and then another whole line and miss these bits and do those bits, because again they're half stitches, and I struggle with half stitches because my brain doesn't do them. So yeah, I can't do a half stitch, so I can't do lots. Of course I can do a half stitch. I do a half stitch every time I do a cross stitch, but if I'm doing a whole line of them, inevitably something goes wrong. It just does. It just does. Something will go, even on Ada, something goes wrong. So I don't do half stitches, and I struggle to count them properly, and I struggle to put them, like if you're doing like 4 here and then you go down 2 and across 3 and there's one stitch there, and then the next stitch is diagonally up from that, and then there's 4 over there. If I'm doing because I cross country, if I'm cross countrying with full cross, I do my crosses as I go. I can see where I'm going. It's perfect. Oh no, can't do it the other way. So you've got to do what you love. You find your own method. Don't be told. And if your stitches aren't perfectly neat, if you're happy with them and you love what you're doing, that's good enough for me. It's good enough for me. It should be good enough for you. Life's not about struggling and stressing about each stitch being perfect, because basically if we ever get all our heads finished and they're hanging framed on the wall over there, nobody is going to look at it and go, hey, you're such a crap stitcher because that stitch right there isn't neat. Because nobody cares, nobody can see it. There, wow, there's my ring light. There's my shipping trees. There must be 15, 20, 40, 190 stitches there that aren't perfect. Look, here I illustrate my half stitches. Look. Look at these two here. What's going on? Right, look. You can see my two half stitches there have not sat properly. This is my problem with half stitches. And this is 25 count over 2, guys. Look. Can you see them now? Can you see them now? It doesn't matter. I'll climb down off my soapbox. I think you need to know. It doesn't matter. If we ever get them done, that isn't a Hade. That's mybobbin.com pattern, shipping trees. It's kind of hard to get hold of on my bobbin at the moment, but the designer sells her patterns on Facebook. Shipping trees. If anyone wants me to let you know who the designer's name is, she has a Facebook page. Because somebody did ask me and I found it, and you can get it from her. Anyway, I love that one. All the back stitches done, and there's crap stitches all over it, but in the big scheme of things, can you see those 2 crap half stitches now? And if you can, and you come to my house and you can see my 2 crap half stitches up in that corner, and you point them out to me, I'll go, really? Would you not rather have a cup of coffee? You want to examine it that closely? Come on, guys. It is what it is, isn't it? We've got to love what we do. And if you want to do it on 14 count, if you want to do it on 11 count, if you want to do it on 40 count over 2, if you want to do it on 40 count over 1, good luck to you. It's really, really hard. But if it's your thing, if you're a 28 count stitcher over 1, kudos. My eyes, they don't work like that. But kudos to you if you can do it, because that's how you get photographic quality Hades. Mine, they're not photographic quality Hades, but I love them. And it's all about doing what you love. And on that note, guys, I've done no life updates today. I don't think I have any little clippy videos to put in at the end. I am just going to say goodbye for today, and I will catch you. Oh, if you leave me a little comment about something to talk about in a stitch with me, I'll do a little stitch with me. And if not, I'll either do one and make up a load of rambly crap, or I'll just do my stitching for my own pleasure. And I will see you again, hopefully within the week. I want to try and get back to Sunday was perfect. A Sunday Flosstube was wonderful. I'm now on Tuesday, so I might try and see what my oh no, not next Sunday. Next Sunday's out. I am driving. I'll be in my car for over 10 hours, fly for over 10 hours on Sunday, because I'm taking Maddie down and dropping her off for 3 weeks. So I've got that next week. But I have invested in a steady, because when I take video when I'm out in the car and we're a bit shaky, I've invested in a super steady, and it actually sticks on the windscreen. So I'm hoping I'll be able to take little clips of interesting things we're seeing, and it won't be like a vomit roller coaster for you guys. Only I'm going somewhere I've never been before, even though it's only down the road. Somewhere I've never been before, and yeah, we're gonna go and have a look at it. So next week you might get a little bit. It will be late next week for definite, because I won't be recording on Sunday, and you might have a little bit of clippy video at the end of that one. I think it's a fairly safe assumption that there will be some. Okay, guys, I'm going to say goodbye for now. Sorry for my soapbox rant. I just think it's important, especially for new stitchers who are just getting into some videos, some of the wormholes you fall down on Flosstube. I certainly felt very pressured when I started stitching, because I started stitching as I started watching Flosstube. I didn't have a huge backstory of cross stitch. I had a sampler I did at 14 and half a dimensions kit that's still in my loft. I didn't have a massive, I already had 6,000 projects. Yeah, I've got 100 tons of projects now, but that was all after I fell into Flosstube. So luckily I found Jan Hicks almost straight away, and she does show you how to stitch very neatly, but she also emphasises that you stitch what you love. So that helped me decide that I could do it my own way. Anyway, I will see you very soon, guys, and be a little bit more of a catch up later on. Have a really good week, whatever it is you're doing. Hopefully you'll get some good stitching time. I have some stitching time now. I'll get my video sorted. I'm going to have some good stitching time too. So I shall see you very soon. If I can find pictures to insert, I will. If I can't, they're not there. Thank you ever so much for watching, guys. And I'll see you really soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.